Hi, my friend. Martha here. Welcome to Light for Wellness, where we explore all things circadian quantum biology related, such as light, water, and magnetism. This is my third video because I've had a couple of surgeries the past few months, and I just had 5 weeks of recuperation from the last surgery. So I'm glad to be outside in the sun today, beautiful spring day. There have been a lot of things I've been paying attention to around quantum biology while I've been recuperating from this second surgery this year. And the big one on my mind right now is, what is the big deal about blocking blue light? Should we block blue light after sunset? You may have heard about blocking blue light and how important that is. And that's definitely something that I've been doing for the past 2 years as I've been a student of circadian quantum biology. But I recently listened to a podcast on April 29th with Cameron Borg on YouTube, and I'll include a link below, where he talked to Bob Fosberg, who's an astronomer, and he talked to Scott Zimmerman, someone I've heard before, who's an optics engineer and who's been an expert for the past 10 years on melatonin and the role of near-infrared light in the body. It's just fascinating listening to them. But both Bob and Scott said the other day on this podcast that blue light is not as important as we think it is, because after sunset, there is a little bit of blue light in things like candlelight and firelight and incandescent bulbs. They say that the most important thing to think about as far as our circadian health and living in sync with the sunlight and light signals for our health, the most important thing to them is not blue light, blocking blue light after sunset, but rather incorporating more near-infrared light and red light into our environments after sunset. Because the standard LED bulbs and fluorescents that were around after sunset have none of that. It's been taken out. So our bodies are not getting the warmth and the light signals from the near-infrared and the red. Then while I was recuperating, I also listened to a podcast with the GOAT of all circadian quantum biology, the person that really kind of started us on this path and got us thinking this way. He can be controversial, but that's Dr. Jack Kruse. I'll link to the podcast below. He was interviewed by someone who was also a student in the Institute of Applied Quantum Biology with me. Her name is Laura Kissman. I'll link to her below. She did a beautiful job talking to him. When you're talking to Jack Kruse, you're mostly listening, but she did a beautiful job in the podcast, and I'll link to that below. Jack says, we call him Uncle Jack, says that actually blue light, he's been saying this for 20 years, blue light is extremely important because it's the key circadian signal into our eyes and on our skin that tells our bodies and our cells what time of day it is and what processes our bodies should be doing at that time of day or night. So that was a discrepancy in the last few days that fascinated me as a student of circadian quantum biology. I'm not a doctor. I'm not currently coaching anyone because I am dealing with my own health concerns at the moment, but I want to share in this channel what I've learned in case it's helpful to you for your health, your recovery from chronic illness, or for your prevention of chronic conditions and things like cancer and things. It's not the end-all and be-all, of course, circadian quantum health, but it's foundational for our bodies to be able to deal with all the things that our bodies have to deal with and to be in optimal resilience. So Scott Zimmerman, for example, said on this podcast that I'll link below, he's the optics engineer who's really been studying melatonin and its role in our bodies, not just for sleep, but for cellular repair and all kinds of communication in our cells. He's also an expert in near infrared and red. He said that the problem is not blue light. Like I said, it's a lack of red and near infrared. And he has a line of light bulbs that he helped research and create, and I will link to that below as well. I haven't tried them yet, but I look forward to doing that. One thing that Bob said, now Bob is the astronomer, he's very interested in twilight because, as you've probably noticed, especially in photographs of twilight after sunset, the sky is so incredibly blue, right? So why are we putting on our blue blocking glasses at sunset if the sky still has an amazing blue signal? And as Bob pointed out, that twilight blue in the sky happens to be the same 480 nanometer wavelength that we use throughout the day from sunrise to sunset, perhaps past sunset, to serve as our key circadian light signal. 480 nanometers. It's the same 480 nanometers at twilight in the sky that Dr. Martin Moore-Eade talks about in his book. He was a lead researcher in the UK who helped discover the circadian clock in our brain, in our hypothalamus, called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. And light signals from our eyes travel along a pathway to the suprachiasmatic nucleus and tells our brain, which communicates to the rest of our cells, what time of day it is and what the body should be doing in that time of day. Should it be resting, repairing? Should it be digesting? Should the kidneys be working more? It's just the circadian clock is extremely important, and we'll talk more about that in this channel. So Dr. Martin Moore-Eade pointed out that, yes, he calls it sky blue. The sky blue color is a particular part of the visible spectrum of the electromagnetic field, is the key color that our eyes and our skin, the melanopsin receptors in many parts of our body, not just our eyes and our skin, they tune into this particular wavelength of sky blue light. Now, the question for me, and I'm sure for many of us, and it's not resolved, I don't think, is that if we have 580 nanometer blue light refracted in the atmosphere, it's being refracted through the atmosphere, it's not coming directly into our eyes from the sun, it's being refracted before sunrise and after sunset, in twilight after sunset. Is that enough strength, if it's indirect light, for our suprachiasmatic nucleus to pick up on that? I'm not sure that I've heard an answer to that. But the question for me today is, should we be putting on our orange blue blocking glasses? These are mine. They fit over my glasses that I normally wear, and I put them on at sunset. I happen to have a sense for when sunset is happening now after a couple of years, but I also find an app really helpful. It's a brand new app. I'm not connected with it anyway. It's called My Circadian app. It was developed by Sarah Kleiner, who also went through the Institute of Applied Quantum Biology program. She's a coach and just an amazing person. Check out her Sarah Kleiner Wellness YouTube channel and her website. That's the app that she started. I'm using the free version, which I find really helpful, which tells me when sunrise is happening, sunset, and a number of other things are really helpful. We'll talk about that another time on this channel. So I still now put on my orange blue blocking glasses at sunset, because even though we've changed our light environment inside our house, even by that I mean the blue blocking glasses, we've changed our light bulbs out. I use Edison style incandescent bulbs. It's very dim in our house after sunset. My melatonin is ramping up after sunset in order to help me sleep really well. And I'm 60 years old and I sleep amazingly well. And I know that sleep is not just for rest, but it's also a major time that our body does its cellular repair. So as a precaution against cancer and other things, that deep sleep is really important. So I use the orange blocking glasses. Will I wait until after twilight to put them on? I'm not sure. Because our house is dimly lit, we don't have a lot of blue light in our house. Also, when I'm watching television in the evening, I have some guilty pleasures that we stream on the internet, and we have a very large computer screen instead of a television screen. But I use Iris Tech software on there to get rid of the blue light after sunset completely. And every time my husband and I play Wordle on that big screen, I have to go back into Iris Tech and boost the blue a little bit so we can see the colors better. That's pretty easy to do. Again, I look forward to maybe showing you how to do that on this channel in a future video. So for now, even though Bob Fosberg, the astronomer, is telling us, from what I understand, that twilight is that 480 nanometer blue light and that we don't need to block blue light after sunset. For most of us these days, 99.9% of us, we have a lot of blue light in our house still. And if that's the case, I definitely recommend that you start wearing orange blue blockers. I will list some of my favorite brands below that I know have been tested by people I trust who own, expensive spectrometers, which I don't have yet, but I know that they've been tested. There's an inexpensive brand on Amazon and some other ones that are really good quality. If there's nothing else that you do right now for your circadian quantum health, I would recommend blocking blue light with these glasses after sunset. As a side note, about 30 minutes to an hour before I want to go to sleep at night, I put on my red blue blocking glasses. They look like this. Again, they fit over my glasses, but you can find many different styles. These red ones block out not only the blue, but also the green wavelengths. So your melatonin is going to really kick in when you wear these. But the red ones are not essential if you're just starting out and you're on a budget. Definitely get the orange ones. Don't get yellow blue blocking glasses or clear blue blocking glasses. The yellow ones are okay during the day if you're on the computer for a long time, for example, or you work under incandescent or LED lights all day long. When I'm on my computer, I don't wear yellow blue blocking glasses because I use the Iris Tech software on my computer and I want to get the natural light coming in from the window in good weather. Do not wear yellow ones or clear ones. Clear ones do absolutely nothing. If you've heard that blue blocking glasses are not effective, it's because the tests were done with clear glasses. Of course, they don't do anything. So get orange ones for sunset. And if you want to wait until after twilight, you can do that. But if you're suffering from any kind of chronic conditions or you're not sleeping well, etc., I'd recommend starting right at sunset. So I just wanted to share this from my first video after recovering from another surgery on my legs. I'm doing really well. I'm out here. I've got my bare feet on the ground and the grass. I've got the sun on my arms. Usually I wear a sleeveless shirt to get more sun on my body, and I'm just enjoying being outside. Thank you again for being here, and I look forward to seeing you here again. Take care. Have a good day. Hey there, just a reminder, my friend, that this video is for informational purposes only. If you're seeking diagnosis or treatment, please consult with a trusted medical healthcare provider. Thank you.